account of it. In February 1854, Dostoevsky was released from the prison in Omsk and sent to serve as a private in the fortress of Semipalatinsk in Kazakhstan, some 400 miles further east. There, for the first time, he was allowed to contact his family. In a letter to his brother, written on February 22, 1854, a week after his release, Dostoevsky described the horrors of prison life, and in particular the hatred of the peasant convicts for the nobility to which he belonged by birth, though his sentence deprived him of his legal rights as a nobleman. The details in the letter are more shocking than anything we find in Notes from a Dead House. Yet he could say in the same letter, referring even to robber murderers, "Believe me, there were deep, strong, beautiful natures among them, and it often gave me joy to find gold under a rough exterior." The intensity of that contradiction was at the heart of Dostoevsky's prison experience. The struggle to understand its implications would inform all his future works. Dostoevsky arrived in Semipalatinsk filled with plans for writing. He felt that he had enough material in him for many volumes, and though as an exile he was forbidden to publish, he hoped that situation would change in some 6 years, if not sooner. While still in Omsk, a week after his release, he had asked his brother to send him books. The list is interesting. "I need, very necessary, ancient historians in French translations, modern historians, Guizot, Terry, Thiers, Ranke, and so forth, national studies and the fathers of the church, and church histories. Send me the Koran, Kant's Critique of Pure Reason, and Hegel, especially his History of Philosophy. My whole future depends on this." He was clearly intent on rethinking his former utopian socialism, both historically and philosophically. "I won't even try to tell you what transformations went on in my soul, my faith, my mind, and my heart in those 4 years," he wrote in the same letter. "That perpetual escape into myself from bitter reality has borne its fruit. I now have many new needs and hopes of which I never thought in the old days." In Semipalatinsk, Dostoevsky made the acquaintance of the young Baron Alexander Egorovich Wrangel, 1833 to 1915, who was sent there in 1854 as the district procurator. By an odd coincidence, Wrangel happened to have witnessed the mock execution of the Petrashevists in 1849. He had also read Dostoevsky's early works and admired them. The two became friends and eventually shared a house, and Wrangel also interceded with the authorities several times on the author's behalf. The Baron's memoirs of those years, published in 1912, give a detailed and moving portrait of Dostoevsky. He describes their first meeting. "He had on a soldier's greatcoat with red stand-up collar and red epaulettes. Morose, with a sickly pale face covered with freckles, he wore his light blonde hair cut short. In height he was taller than average. Staring intently at me with his intelligent gray-blue eyes, it seemed he was trying to peer into my soul." Through Wrangel, Dostoevsky was introduced to the commanding officers of the fortress and was received in society where he met his future wife, Maria Dmitrievna Isaeva. Wrangel recalled Dostoevsky working on his prison memoirs while they lived together. "I was happy to see him during the moments of his creative work," he wrote, "and I was the first person who listened to the notes of this outstanding work of art." Wrangel also recorded a curious incident that occurred one day while they were sitting on the terrace having tea. His servant announced that a young woman was asking to see Dostoevsky. She was invited to the garden, and Dostoevsky recognized her at once as the daughter of a gypsy woman who had been sent to prison for murdering her husband. The girl herself had been involved in the escape of 2 convicts from the prison in Omsk. Their plan, completely illogical and fantastic according to Wrangel, was to make their way eastward, join the Khan's army, and come back to free their fellow prisoners. He says that the girl's sudden reappearance inspired Dostoevsky to write a new chapter, The Escape, the next to last in Notes from a Dead House, and the book's thematic